Welcome to the Second Chance Points podcast. I'm Dave Rudin. The FCIAC regular season is over. It's playoff time, and I got my dream team lineup here to break it all down here. Let's welcome back the coach, Mike Walsh. It's great to see you, and Colin Devine has earned full-time membership with us. I kind of feel like Dick Enberg, and I got Billy Packer and Al McGuire with me. But Mike, first of all, I know everybody wants to know how you're doing. You look great.
Well, I'm feeling really good. It's a slow process, but I want to thank everybody for their concerns, support, prayers, and I'm on the road to recovery and ready to go, ready for the FCIAC playoffs.
I think we're going to break down each of the four quarterfinals, but let's say goodbye to the regular season. And we had such a 2023 ending to the regular season. It couldn't have ended crazier than this. I actually went out last night and I wrote a story with how I thought things were going to finish. And I got 7 of the picks right, which I think everybody got 7 of the picks right. Staples with a good final win over Darien. Wilton took a loss at Danbury, and who am I forgetting about here? Stanford. Excuse me. Stanford lost to Ridgefield, and we had New Canaan with a win at Greenwich, and then everybody. I have New Canaan people texting me, "What's the score of Brian McMahon and Ludlow?" And Ludlow's on an 8-game losing streak. McMahon had a slim lead until about the last 3 minutes. And then, of course, because this is the FCIAC this year, Ludlow puts on a late spurt, upsets McMahon, and gets New Canaan into the playoffs. I mean, could you have a more fitting, crazy ending to a more crazy regular season?
I don't think so. I watched that game mostly at the end, and I mean, I give John Daly and his kids a lot of credit in Ludlow. I think that Danny Mills owes steak dinner to John Daly because they came out and they played hard and they beat a pretty good McMahon team who just couldn't get a basket down the stretch. But like you say, it's the FCIAC this year.
It was typical ending. I said, you better be able to go down to Colony Pizza in Fairfield, and the Ludlow team better be eating there, and they better have Melzer's credit card, or else something's not right. But Colin, you've been in situations where you've had to play sleeper and knock somebody off, and just a really impressive showing by Ludlow and John Dinelli, a team that could have easily packed it in, and people in New Canaan are happy they did.
Yeah, I think it's like Coach Walsh says, a tribute to Coach Daly's hard work, his staff, his players. Playing the last game, the playoff game, we have qualified for the FCIAC states. You got to give a lot of credit. But first, Coach Walsh, it's great to have you back. Glad you're doing well. And you made this look easy the last 6 years. So we're glad you're back.
All right. Well, we got. Let's just, for anybody who hasn't seen it, the top 8 seeds, and then we'll break down the game. Ridgefield, the regular season championship, they're number 1. Fairfield Ward is the 2nd seed. Danbury is the 3rd seed. Staples in the 4th position. Wilton 5. Stanford 6. Trumbull 7. And New Canaan 8. And I'm going to pat myself on the back because I usually don't get to pat myself on the back. But I just went back and looked at my predicted order of finish. I had Danbury 1, Ridgefield 2, Staples 3, and Ward 4. So I got the top 4 right, and I was pretty close in terms of, and last minute I picked Staples over Ward when I was going to go Ward Staples. And then I had Wilton at 5. I had St. Joseph at 6. That was the one team I got wrong. Stanford at 7 and New Canaan at 8. So much better than I normally do. That's probably because I was consulting with Mike when I was making my picks. So,
well, to be honest with you, I don't think it was that hard to come up with those 8 guys, especially the first 3 or 4.
Nah, the first 4 or so were easy, and you know what? Who knows if St. Joseph had the team it started the season with at the end of the season, they might have gotten themselves in as well. So sets us up for Super Saturday, which is one of my favorite days as a sports writer of the year, if not the best. And let's break down the game. And for those of you headed over to Ward or trying to figure out when you want to go, here's the schedule. At noon on Saturday, Danbury is going to play Stanford. 2 o'clock, you have Fairfield Ward against Trumbull. And then you go to the night session. The hardest game to pick, you have Staples against Wilton. And then you have Ridgefield against New Canaan. And I don't know that Andrew McClellan is real happy that New Canaan got in, because that's the kind of team that can mess with you a little bit if with tempo and if they're on. So let's break down all 4 games and let's do them the order they're going to be played. You got Danbury, which despite losing Cam Perkins for the last couple of weeks, finished strong. They played well. And they're going to take on Stanford, which kind of mercurial early on and has come out strong. Lost its last game to Ridgefield, but it's been playing really well too. What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Colin. You see more than I do.
I just Danbury's got to put a big game together. Basketball together. Stanford's got to get their off the glass. And I think Stanford just staying has to change up the principle of defensive pressure to keep Danbury out of balance.
Well, I kind of agree. I think that Stanford is going to have a little bit of trouble on the boards. I think Danbury is pretty good on the offensive glass. And having Cam Perkins back on that, I think they're going to be a handful for Stanford High. Stanford has, they have Presley, they have Winchester, and Salvador, and they play hard. But again, they're experienced in the playoff. But that 12 o'clock game, that leads to a lot of things happening. It's tough to get up and play at Newman. Especially coming from Danbury and Stanford. So we'll see which team has the most wakes up the earliest.
Have you guys? I don't remember. Have you guys played in the noon game before? And if so,
I've never had the pleasure.
I didn't think you were a noon person. Colin, did you ever play a noon game?
No, but I do remember the Canaan Bridgeport Central plus State, and I believe Fessler really went on a 3-point shot. Coach Postal got to the semifinals.
Well, if you did have to play the noon game, would you do anything? I mean, I don't know what you can do, but is there anything you can do that you would do?
I have an 8 o'clock breakfast with the team, and then we'll walk through and head up there and be there on the clock.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. Coach, question for you. You had so much success in the FCIAC Tournament. What do you think the keys are in the next 2 days of preparation for the 8 coaches and the players for the next 2 days?
Mike, did you hear that?
No, I'm having trouble hearing Colin, to be honest with you.
Hey, Colin's asking in terms of the what kind of preparation the 8 coaches would probably be doing to get ready for during the next 2 days for the games. What did you do?
Well, obviously they have school, so it's kind of difficult to practice 12 o'clock game. So I wouldn't do anything different with practice. Nothing else I can do, to be honest with you.
I'm reading between the tea leaves for what people are saying and what I've heard in the feedback. I kind of get the feeling Cam Perkins is not going to be available Saturday based on I know he was sitting on the bench this week with a boot on. That Joel Gariak was up there yesterday. He wasn't certain. It sounds like he may not be available at least for Saturday. How much does that change things? I know his cousin Kushan Perkins has been playing really well. Obviously, Cam's a first team all FCIAC player, but it also seems to me like some of their guys who have been in a little bit of supporting roles can step up and be in a leading role, though. I also wonder about what it'll do for Danbury's depth. They're not a real deep team to begin with.
I don't know, Colin, what do you think?
Yeah, I just think if they apply that pressure and see what happens, and strength the game, get into the third and fourth quarter, might be for that.
I mean, even without Cam, I think they're a pretty good team. They're athletic, they rebound, they have a couple shooters. They shot the ball really well last night against Wilton, especially the other Perkins. And then I think it's still going to be a tough task for Stanford to be able to beat them. But the rest of the tournament, if Danbury gets by Stanford, it's going to be a problem without Cam.
I agree. That's when they'll miss so much. It'll be interesting. Stanford's one of those teams you just don't. They kind of play all over the place. You know, they're really good at times. They struggle at times. E.J. Presley's had a really good year and a really good second half of the season. And I think that's one reason Stanford was able to get up to the 6th seed and not have to worry about final night of the season to get in. So
I really think Stanford is going to come down to Winchester threes. He's going to need to hit that 3-point shot. And he's not afraid to take them, but he's going to have to make them.
He had a really big shot last year for West Hill. I remember it was like, wasn't it like a banking 3-point shot or something like that he hit? It was the afternoon. I can't remember who they were playing, but I remember because I interviewed him after the game. So he hit, so he's got experience hitting big shots in the tournament. We'll see if he can do it for the other side of the city.
Yeah, Sharp banked in a 3 against St. Joe's to ice the game.
Okay, that's what it was. It was St. Joe. I remember that. Okay, let's go to 2 o'clock. We have the surging Fairfield Ward team that is taking on Trumbull. Trumbull got a shot in this one.
Go ahead.
What do you think? Can Trumbull? What's Trumbull have to do right now to beat a team that I'm actually looking up right now? I think is on a 12-game winning streak and has just been playing well both offensively and particularly defensively.
Well, I think first they have to get out of conversion and play 9-foot basketball. A little bit of contrasting styles. They have to slow down a little bit. And Trumbull has to continue to rebound on the 50-50 balls so they get out of conversion.
I hope I'm not repeating what Colin said, but Ward has got to be more than a man, Flesher obviously key, but Colin Biggood and David Nelson are going to be really important for Ward. I have to give them the advantage because they're on the home court. And I think especially Ward, they seem to play pretty well. They beat Danbury at Ward, and really the only bad loss was on the road against Ridgefield. So I would think that Ward has an advantage, but I'm really impressed with the way Buddy's team plays at Trumbull. They don't seem to give up ever. They play hard, and they have a couple of solid players that really make them go. I think Sean Shetta, number 3. He's a key from the other team, Lucas and Elio. I really like the way they play and the way they play hard. And now they won a couple of close games. They're playing with confidence. So anything is possible.
Yeah, I was at their practice on Sunday because I'm going to be writing a story on Jack Plesser. And their last loss was that Ridgefield loss, and it was 30 points. I think that was an aberration. The game kind of got out of hand in the second half and snowballed. But obviously Ward has learned a lot from that loss. I think probably gained something. You talk about learning from your losses, and I think that's been the case. And they've been on a roll. And just as you said, Mike, it's got to be a collaborative effort, and it has been. I actually asked Ryan Swaller, the coach, to look this up for me. Through the Ward game, Plesser was averaging 30 points a game. During this 13-game winning streak, he's been averaging 18. So they've been doing it. They've been getting good play from David Melson, who's a key player, from Colin Vigilant, from Kramer. A lot of guys have stepped up, and it's not about Plesser going in and scoring 30 points a game anymore.
No, I think it's a credit to Swaller. Plesser, we talked about the balance scoring is imperative, but they're getting their shot. Team shot on offense, team stop on defense. And that's what Coach Wall said. Coach Wall said this. I would expect balanced scoring from the first three quarters and look for Plesser to take over and step up and make big plays in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
And as Mike said, Trumbull is just a gutty team. They probably played more close games than anybody in the league, and it was an ugly game, but they got that win over McMahon, withstood that late comeback bid, and they've played everybody tough. And I know they're a lower playoff seed that most teams don't wanna play. Sean Rissett's had a really good second half of the season, and he's been a leader for them, and he's taken over games. So it should be a good game. But again, Ward gets a big home court advantage, and that's a factor as well.
No question.
Yeah. Why don't we go now to let's we take a break, we eat a little pizza, and now it's 5 o'clock. And we have the game that I think both of these teams want to play each other again. They played the best regular season game of the year, I think. And different constructions with the team, but probably in the league, the two teams that are closest talent-wise, and that's Staples and Wilton. Wilton won the first meeting in overtime by a point. Both teams kind of dipped over the second half of the season, had some strange games. Break it down for me, guys. What do you think?
Go ahead, Coach.
Go ahead, Colin.
Mike, what do you think?
First of all, Wilton won overtime. But when you really look at that game, it was on the Wilton court, which I think is an advantage. And McKiernan played the game of a year for him. He had 34 points and couldn't miss a shot. And since then, Wilton has kind of been streaky, let's put it that way. They're relying an awful lot on McKiernan. They're going to have to get some help from Liston and Jarvie and those other guys if they're going to beat Staples. Because I think Staples is better than they were in that game. And especially on a neutral court. And don't forget, they got the lefty back. Colin helped me with his name.
Rothenberg. Yeah.
Right, Rothenberg. And I think he means a lot to them. And I think if they go inside to Zajac, as they should, it'll open up the outside. And I would give the advantage to Staples in that game.
I agree 100%, Coach. I think the key for Staples is they got to get the ball to Chris Zajac early and often, and then take advantage of opportunities in a fast break, get the shooters involved. And then defensively, they got to keep building, not to get a good start, and guard yards to keep guards out of the paint.
I know, talking from both sides, you talked to the first game, and the Staples side says, McKiernan's not going to do that again, and Max Jarvie's not going to hit threes like he did. And the Wilton side saying, Cody Sale played his best game of the year for Staples that night, 23 points. And the Wilton people are saying he's not going to do that again. So they're, each side is sort of discounting one of the, lead performances by the other team. Obviously Zajac's a big factor, and Joel does a great job of defending other teams' big men, as we saw in the state semifinals last year. So it's going to be a real chess match. The one player, again, I kind of called it again. So I've been lucky this year with predictions. But Sam Klacko's really come on the last couple of games with his 3-point shooting, and has been leading Staples in scoring. And if they get him doing what he's been doing, they get Rothenberg back. They get a solid game out of Cody Sale, and then I think eventually they're going to need to ride Zajac to get deeper into the tournament. But again, this even game, they're not going to need a 30-point performance out of Zajac to win the game.
Well, I think that the key to Staples is not so much the offense. I really think that it's their defense. Sometimes they kind of a little bit, I don't want to say lazy, but lax on defense, and teams get to the basket kind of easy, and their defense is going to decide whether they're going to beat Wilton and whether they're going to go on in the tournament, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but I think
that's a really good point, Coach. And I think that's where Rothenberg's influence, even at 50%, leadership, communications with his teammates on the defensive end, position is going to be a high grade. Staples has to guard and keep building out the paint. Really good point, Coach.
Mike, I know we talked a lot. You've been a proponent. You think Staples should be playing more zone defense than it does.
I'm not with the Staples team. I just watch them.
Just as an outsider, that you've said.
I always like to mix it up as a coach. I play a lot of man-to-man, but I throw zone at them, and sometimes a little chunk with triangle through and things of that nature. But I think with their athletes, they may be impressed a little bit more. But listen, I think Dave has done a really good job with them this year. And, I think he knows the team better than I do. So.
Okay, and let's get to the final game and then make our picks. Ridgefield and New Canaan, is this going to be the Ridgefield Invitational again? And they go on the Ride for 5. Can New Canaan again, as you talked about their run against their opening win against Central in the past, can New Canaan pull off the upset here?
Go ahead, Coach.
Mike, what do you think?
You want me to take? I'll take it first.
We started.
I agree with what you said at the beginning, Dave, that Ridgefield would probably rather play Command than New Canaan, only because Danny does a great job. He's got a lot of seniors, and he can play that slow down tempo. And I think he's got the size to match up a little bit with Ridgefield. But you know what? It always comes down to Andrew McClellan, the great job he's done with Ridgefield. From day one, you can see how that team has progressed. They've gotten better and better and better. And, I just think they're going to be a tough team to beat. Is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. I think he's going to have to Danny's going to have to get some scoring from his point guard and a couple of the other kids. And then he's going to have to hope that Ridgefield misses their 3-point shots. But I think the key to Ridgefield it has been the emergence of the big guy, number 35, Nick. How do you pronounce his last name?
Skenga.
He's really done a great job for that. Inside, second shots, etc. And Swiatowicz, he can hit the three. And all the other guys kind of fit into the role that Andrew wants him to fit into. And he's done a great job of mixing that role. So if you had to pick one, obviously you have to pick Ridgefield. But, you know, New Canaan is going to play gutty. They're playing with house money, getting into the tournament. I just look at it as, hey, didn't a number 16 seed beat a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do the same thing.
And the first game when they played each other in Ridgefield, New Canaan played them tough. It was 49-45. A 4-point game. Danny definitely wants to keep the game in the 40s. The way they've been struggling scoring, maybe he even wants it in the 30s. Yeah, they're gonna. You know, they don't really slow the ball down. They just struggle to score. So you look at their points and you think he's slowing it down. They're not up tempo, but they're not, you know, slowing it down either. It's more a methodical offense, but you know, I think the question with New Canaan to win this game, they gotta hit their shots. They you know, every possession is going to be real important, and they're going to have enough offense, and they got 5-6 guys that on any given night can, you know, score in low double figures. So New Canaan's going to need a couple of those guys to do that, and you know, hope that Ridgefield is off a little bit. But yeah, and again, Ridgefield's been here. Even though a lot of these guys don't have a lot of playoff minutes, they know how to win.
What do you think, Colin? I don't know.
I agree with everything you guys said, not to repeat it, but I think, you know, two contrasting styles. New Canaan's going to have to shoot well. It's going to be a tough task to Ridgefield in the late game. But like Lance said, tournament, you know, Virginia got beat in 1-16 game, and if you can't even get this to the full quarter, the whole gym is going to be rooting for the upset.
Absolutely.
But, you know, Ridgefield's been there before and dealt with that type of adversity.
I didn't realize that the first game the score was 29-25.
No, 49-45.
49.
Yeah, but they played them tough. It was close throughout.
Well, they're going to have to play tough again and hope for a few breaks here and there. But they did get the break to get into the tournament. So who knows?
Okay, guys, real quick, let's finish up this podcast with our predictions. We broke it all down. Danbury Stanford, are we going to see an early seed with the noontime surprise?
I don't think so. I think Danbury wins.
Colin?
Take it all chalk. Danbury.
I'm chalk today too, so Danbury as well. Fairfield Ward and Trumbull, can Buddy Bray and the Eagles pull off the upset, or does Ward make it 14 in a row?
I'd have to say Ward on their home court, 14 in a row.
I agree with Coach.
There's unanimity. I guess if anything, I don't think it's going to, but if any disagreement, it'll come on this game. But Staples-Wilton, does Staples avenge that regular season loss, or Wilton continue their recent playoff magic?
Staples Rothenberg wins.
Staples.
I like Staples too. I think it'll be a close game again, but Staples has played less poorly than Wilton has during their little bit of dips here, and I think Staples maybe has a few more weapons. And finally, Ridgefield and New Canaan. Do the Rams shock the FCIAC world early Saturday night?
I don't think so. Andrew McClellan has his Tigers on a drive for 5.
Ridgefield.
Okay, we're 12 for 12 in agreement here.
Well, we gave ammunition to 4 teams anyway.
Yeah, what do these three know? So there are four underdogs that are feeling real good and more confident now about their chances. So let's break it here. I'm looking to set up that we can do podcasts Monday and Wednesday, hopefully next week. So or Sunday or Monday, we'll come back with and analyze Saturday's games. And then come back hopefully on Wednesday and look at the semifinals and preview the championship. So, Mike, it's great having you back here.
Great to be back.
You look good, and you know your stuff as well, Colin. It's good having you part of the team here. It's been a great podcast. I know that people have really enjoyed it, and it's due to having two people who know the game as well as you two do. So, thanks a lot. Let's go to the games. We've had a crazy year. Let's see if we have any craziness on Saturday. Enjoy the quarterfinals, and we'll be back with second chance points next week.